We are a housing justice organization based in Springfield, Massachusetts. We organize families that are most directly impacted by housing inequality and displacement, with a vision of building long-term power to win housing as a human right. And to us, we really believe that to build that kind of long-term power, the folks who need to be on the front lines of this movement and the lead of this movement are folks who have lived through the direct impact of economic injustice and inequality. It's interesting, I think Western Massachusetts has this kind of reputation as a liberal bastion, but I think that often actually covers up and ignores and makes it easy to ignore real deep, long-standing racial inequality, economic inequality, and injustice in the area. And so, when we look at particular, areas in Springfield and in Holyoke that are some of the poorest areas in the entire country, and 10 minutes away you have some of the wealthiest areas in the entire country, and those break down starkly along lines of not just class, but along race and along education and attainment. I think it's impossible to say that we live in an area that is free from racial and economic injustice or gender injustice or all forms of other oppression that our society is still perpetuating and thriving off of, right? That we have to understand that the system that we live in relies on that exploitation. And so when we talk about long-term transformational change, we're talking about really upending that system and building something new.
I mean, just take a look at your neighborhoods. How many houses have you seen now with for sale signs? How many abandoned properties? Look at the interest rates at the bank. Because of all the bad lending practices and the bad loans, that's just going to drive the interest rates up on everybody else. It's the same with hospital care. If someone doesn't pay their bill, someone else is going to pay for it. So what people need to understand is nobody walking the face of this earth will be free as long as one person is having or suffering or struggling through any type of injustice.
We have huge amounts of vacant housing and huge amounts of unused land that ultimately comes down to who controls that land, right? And the banks and wealthy investors control more and more land in our society. And so this is one way to reclaim control. We don't see it as the end game.
We have a lot of houses, a lot of homes that are very empty. And what the banks got bailed out, JP Morgan, he got bailed out. And he might have paid whatever the money that was given to him back. But he had an opportunity to do so. So why you cannot allow somebody else who has the ability to pay anything to do the same thing, give us a chance? And that's why I got a little upset, because I have to walk. It's gloomy outside sometimes. My neighborhood around where I live at, I'm in Blunt Park area, is like the ratio of houses is that are empty versus that are filled with family is higher. And it's sad that we have to watch our children sneak into abandoned homes. I had to make a big deal till they finally boarded it up and secured it, because who knows anybody that's in those houses, if years later when you finally decide to go in there, there'll be somebody in there, and it's going to be a sad view. I'm trying to keep it very nice and clean. But I really think that the banks need to just listen to the community, or either come and take a stroll, because I'm sure we saved your business. Your home was fine. You understand what I'm saying? Why not help us save our homes? And we work, so we don't have to, we're not worried about a business, but we're worried about a home,
Springfield No One Leaves can be reached on Facebook, through their website at springfieldnooneleaves.org, or by calling 413-342-1804.